Welcome back, YouTube. Another Total Battle video. The Arachne Swarm is live. And my tip today, if you're a small player, don't do it. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe. In this video, if you are a small player, I'm going to go over why you should not battle the Arachne Swarm. But if you want to stick around, we're still going to go into the slaughter and fight the Arachne Swarm afterwards to complete this video. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the video with a like. So why should you not battle the Arachne Swarm if you're a small player? Head on in to battle the Swarm. When you are a small player in the game, there are some very rare commodities that you need. Gold and sacred potions and silver. In that order, 3 things that you need to succeed in the game. You do not want to be killing off your troops and reviving them with gold and sacred potions if you can. But you have to understand the mechanics of the battle. So when you go into battle, when you go in to fight epic monsters, and don't get me wrong, don't misunderstand this, the best way to grow in this game to acquire valor and to acquire your conquest points, which you need to improve your army, to improve their boost, to grow your economy and the strength of your city. You need to fight epic monsters. It is the best way to do it. But when you take on the Arachne Swarm, you can see here there are 8 levels of monsters. There's 8 different troops that you have to go through. Now, the way the mechanics of the game works, the first strike is 50-50. And now in Arachne, you can take all 3 of your captains, which means you can take more troops. If you watch the might level at the bottom, your authority and might leadership here, you can take 8,800, 17, 27. Now these are for your troops. These are your mercenary levels. And then over here, you're going to see your monsters number increase. I don't have any mercenaries at the moment. So the first strike is 50-50, whether you attack the monsters first or if you get hit and lose your troops. Now the troops with the highest hit points or health points are who is going to go first. So you see here for this dragon, 45,000. That's for each one single dragon. That's their health point for that particular dragon. But when you are a small army, you're going to get your level 1 riders, your level 1 swordsmen, or level 1 spearmen rather, your level 1 archers. You're going to have your spies, which you're not going to want to take, and then your level 1 specialists, which I don't have any of. But you're only going to have that 3 to 4 levels of troops. So you got your spearmen, 150 health for each, and then the riders are double that at 300. So once you put up all your troops, you take that 3150 and you multiply it by 150, and you're going to get the total health points of that level of that guardsman squad. So spearman 1 in this case. Now, once you add up all of them, if I were to put this 1,797 level 2 times 270, we're probably going to come up. So this level 2 spearman would take priority as my strongest troop that would head into battle first, which means if we lose the 50-50, these guys would get killed in the first strike, and I'm going to get nothing for it. Now, the reason why, if you're a small army and you only have, as I mentioned, 1, 2, 3, 4 if you send your spies. If you add in a 5th being the level 1 specialists, which are your swordsmen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. You're going to exchange hits until your army is dead. You're only going to get 5 strikes. If you do happen to have mercenaries, or if you want to send in your catapults, fine, add 2 more in. You're going to get at a max. If you're able to strike first, 7 would be a 7-hit exchange, and you're going to be completely gone. What you want is to not do this. Avoid the Arachne Swarm if you are a small army that has less than 8 levels of troops. Because the way the mechanics of the game works, after you strike back and forth with these 8 levels of monsters, these 8 monster squads, if you will, then you're going to go on a run. Okay, so the strategy is you'd want to stack your the highest health points of your lower level troops so that they'll die out in the first 8 attacks. Then after that, all your other levels of troops are going to go on a run. So if you're able to stack in 16 different layers, and this is when it comes into your larger, you're going to go on a 16, you're going to go, the first 8 would die, the next 8 will go on a run, and it's all attacks from your side onto the monsters before you will get hit back. So if you are a small to this game, newer player, avoid the Arachne Swarm for this reason. Take a look at the tournaments that are upcoming. You can see in this case, Doomsday starts in 5 hours. Doomsday, I believe, has 4 squads of monsters. So you have a better chance if you can get that. If you can get some mercenaries for free from the Triumphal Challenge, if you can get that extra layer to be sure that your mercenaries attack, they are the strongest thing you can put out there. So now we'll move on to the larger armies. We're going to go in right here anyway and go get killed and get some valor. So here's what I would do for the larger players if you insist. And I've always liked Arachne. You can check out my other videos before I understood the mechanics of how battles worked in this game. For the epic squads, I always sent them in to Arachne, but you can get more rewards elsewhere. I usually use this event to level up some of my captains because you can send a higher level captain, and if you want, is it going to go? There it goes. If you want to increase levels of your captain, I would typically use this as a time to take some of my smaller captains so that they get the bonuses. So who do I got here? I got Bran. He's a rare captain. Engineering Corp. Health. So I would plug him in over as Pro Scope. And then we got our Farad here, which I believe he's helping. His strengths are research speed increases. So Heidi is my highest level captain. I'll use her for this battle, and then I'll use her to bump up these other 2 captains. So this is a strategy that I don't use as much anymore. I used it when I was kind of around 1 million might or so, 1 million to 3 million, trying to get as many of my captains leveled up, because the higher level your captains, again, it adds to the strength of your army. So what I'm going to do for this battle, I'm going to go down. I'm going to make sure that these level 1 troops are the ones that are attacked first. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, take your 3150, multiply out the 150 health points. That's 472,500 is the health of these troops for the level 1. Now, my next weakest squads are the level, what do we got here? Our level 2 spearmen. So they're at 270. So I could send about 1,750 of these guys, 1,740, in order to keep them below these spearmen so they get attacked next in the pecking order, and you'll see that when we look at the review. I can send all of these. Now the riders are at 300, so that's roughly half of that, so 3,150 divided by 2, so I can send about 1,575 of these guys. Let's do a little bit less to make sure I can send all of these Swordsman. So now what we're doing is we're building stacks of troops. So here's 480. I can send about a little under 1,000 of these guys. Let's do like 975. I don't really have many archers here. We'll send them anyway. What do we got? Our level 2 riders, which are 540. I can send about 870 or so of these. Let's just send 800. Nice round number. Then once we get into our level 4 troops, 870, in order to keep them out of this top 8. What did I say that? I got 870. So we're talking about 500 of these. Oh, which I can't. There we go. We run out. There, we see that there. So now we can't take any more of these troops. So far we've built up a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've built up 10 stacks of troops. So now we're going to add our monsters in, and we want to make sure that these guys, that's 5,700. Take about 70, up to 70 of these guys, so I should be safe there if I send in all 39. What do we got next here? 39,000. So we're talking only a handful of these guys. Not going to send out many of these, and these guys might just get killed off without much on the attack. 45,000. Yeah, only going to take like a handful of these, 4 or 5. That's the thing. Normally, so when you get larger in the game, I send all my high-level captains because you can take more troops, which means you can end up bringing more of everyone. So I'm not going to take over there. So here we go. We're going to start our march and send them in, and then we'll take a look at the report out. So there we have it. Our captain leveled up to 20. So you get the extra 4% bonus to health and strength. There's the leadership. Dominance move up. There we go. Captain Farad up to 21. So that 4% leadership. So that's the advantage if you're in that kind of mid-level range to grow your captains. You take a high-ranking captain and take them some of the lower level captains so you can help rank them up. The higher your level your captains get, the increase in the number of troops and monsters that you can bring into battle. Again, even if you're at that 1 to 3, maybe even 1 to 5 million might rank. I used to play Arachne all the time. I didn't really understand the mechanics of how the epic fights played out. I would avoid the Arachne Swarm if I was you as well. And I know a lot of larger players. I mean, you can see people are attacking right now. But I know a lot of the larger players in the game strictly avoid Arachne because you do get increased experience and valor from some of the other epic monster squad fights. Let's look at the details. Hey, there we go. So we didn't strike first. So we lost the 50-50 battle. So that's avoid when it's especially crucial when you have mercenaries. You do not want your mercenaries to be number 1 in your pecking order. Take a look at the health points of your mercenaries. Avoid them and even your strongest monsters being number 1. You want your level 1, level 2 troops to be in this first string of 8. Specifically for this reason, if you lose out on that first one and that's your mercenaries, goodbye, because the mercenaries do the most amount of damage for you in battle. So you see the trades back and forth. We're losing all of our level 1 and level 2 troops. That was planned. Then we had our lowest level 3 swordsmen. So now we're excuse me. And we actually, some of our monsters stuck in there. But now we go on our run after the first 8 exchanges back and forth. Here's where all the other stacks of troops come into play. and this is where you want your monsters and your higher level troops, which we ran out of time, or ran out of space to bring my level 4 guardsmen. That's fine for the purposes of what we're doing here. This is where you want your mercenaries striking. Now, the reason for this, you're going to go on your run before you get hit back, and then it's completely random after this. So what we're looking for is another run, and we didn't get any. So what you'll see a lot of times after this initial strike, you might trade attacks again, and then you'll go on a string where you get 4 or 5 in a row, maybe 6 in a row. That didn't happen here for us, but what we did get, if you take a look, we had our run, we had our battle boars, killed 8, our water elementals killed 3. The battle boars did strike again before they were killed off, so that's good. We got some extra kills from the monsters, and then the water elementals killed another 3 before they were killed off. So that is, and there's our other monsters. We got 8 there, so they got 2 strikes out of our monsters. That's what you want. You want your monsters, your monsters and your mercenaries, which we didn't have here in this battle, attacking more than one time. So that's why you avoid them being in this first set of 8. If you are going to go to Arachne, make sure hit points or health points wise, you're taking fewer of your monsters, but you do get the opportunity for them to strike more than once. It didn't work out well for our level 6, or our 6 monsters that we took here. We killed 12, but then they were struck first after our run. But we did get the second hit from 3 different layers of our monsters, and then our level 3 guardsmen. So that's it. If you are going to go in and fight Arachne, if you are larger, different strategies, take your highest level captain along with some of your smaller levels, because you will see, especially if these troops are down at, you're just starting them off, these captains, they're level 1 or level 2, you will see a significant bump. They will jump up to 10, 15 with the first time that you use them. Make sure you always take your dragon. Have your bonuses turned on. In this case, your army health and strength, your valor bonus, your experience bonus. That's going to drive these numbers up. And then stack the troops. Make sure your strongest troops are not in the first 8 exchanges. Put a spreadsheet together. It takes a little bit of work, or you can just kind of do the eye test, which is what we did going through here. Just clicked on our troops, saw it's 150. Just do the math on the very first one, and then scale back the rest of the troops so that they're less, so that you can get them into this outside of that top 8, so that they're on the run. And again, it works better with the Doomsday event coming up. There's a smaller amount of monster squads to battle against. So check out the Doomsday video to learn how to fight against the Doomsday monsters with a level stacking strategy. Hit this video with a like. Make sure you subscribe and come back for more Total Battle videos. I'm Joe. We'll see you next time.